Before I talk about psychology, before I talk about Jung, before I talk about the shadow and the unconscious and projection and healing, I want to tell you a story. My story. The real one. The one that built this channel. The one that made me spend years searching for answers that nobody around me could give me. The one that eventually led me to Carl Jung, to the shadow, to everything you have been learning on this channel. I am Richard Dave. I am 45 years old. I was born in Italy. I live in America now. And the person who betrayed me, most completely, the person whose betrayal sent me to the streets, sent me into depression, sent me searching for answers in the dark, was not a lover, not a friend, not a colleague. It was my blood brother, the man I grew up with, the man I shared everything with, the man I trusted more than I have ever trusted any person on this earth. This is that story. I am telling it today for one reason, because somewhere out there, someone is sitting with a betrayal they cannot make sense of. Someone who trusted completely, someone who gave everything, someone who ended up with nothing. And that person needs to know they are not alone. What happened to them has a psychological explanation, and there is a path forward that leads somewhere real. I know, because I walked it. Let me show you where it started. I grew up in Italy, and my brother, my senior brother, was the center of my world, not in a small way, in the way that only happens when two people grow up in the same house, eat at the same table, share the same parents, share the same blood, the kind of closeness that feels permanent, unbreakable, given. I told him everything. I want you to understand what I mean when I say everything. Not almost everything. Not the things that felt safe to share. Everything. My secrets. My fears. My dreams. My bank details. My phone passwords. The private things that most people keep only for themselves. I gave them to him. Freely. Without hesitation. Without even thinking twice. Because why would I? He was my brother. My blood. The person the universe itself had placed beside me from the very beginning. If you cannot trust your blood, who can you trust? That was what I believed, and I believed it completely. For years, life was good. Our family was together. My brother and I were close. The world felt like a place where the people who were supposed to love you actually did. I did not know then what I know now, that the people closest to us carry their own shadow, their own wounds, their own unexamined darkness. And that darkness, no matter how much we love someone, no matter how much blood we share, does not disappear simply because we are family. My brother was the first to leave. He moved to America years before me. He found work there as a sound engineer in a music industry. And from what he told me, life in America was good, more than good. He had money. He had a position. He had built something. And he kept telling me, Richard, come to America. There is work here. There is opportunity. I will help you. You will have a good life. Those words, I want you to feel what those words meant to me. I was in Italy. My brother, the person I trusted most, was calling me to a new life, promising me opportunity, promising me support, promising me the kind of future that a young man dreams of when he looks beyond the borders of the world he grew up in. I told my parents. I prepared myself and I did my visa. I made the arrangements, and I moved to America, to my brother, to what I believed was the beginning of something better. I did not know, I could not have known, that I was not moving toward something better. I was moving toward the worst experience of my life. Because the brother who called me, the brother who promised me, was already wearing a mask I had never seen, a mask that his new life, his new wife, his new world had helped him build, and I was about to walk directly into it, without knowing it was there. When I arrived in America, I moved in with my brother, and from the very beginning, something was wrong. I want to be careful about how I say this, because for a long time, a very long time, I could not fully trust what I was feeling. I kept telling myself I was adjusting, that it was a new country, a new environment, that things would settle, that the brother I knew was still there. But the truth I pushed down because looking at it directly was too painful, was that something had changed. His wife. I don't say this with hatred. I say it because it is what happened. His wife treated me in a way that I had never been treated by anyone in my life. Not as family, not as a guest, not even as a stranger who deserved basic dignity. I ate once a day. I want you to sit with that. Once a day, in the house of my blood brother, the man I had trusted, with my bank details, my passwords, my deepest secrets. She did not allow him to give me money. She did not allow me to look for a job. She did not allow me to build the life I had come to America to build. Instead, I became something I had never agreed to be, a servant. I took care of their investments, their poultry, their housework, their life. For 4 years, I bore it, because he was my brother, because I believed in the promise he had made, because the wounded child in me, the part of me that had always believed my brother would come through, was still waiting, still hoping, still holding on to something that had already quietly died. Without my knowing, without my permission, without a word. 4 years. And then, one day, everything broke. There was an argument between me and my brother's wife. I do not remember exactly what it was about. What I remember, what I will never forget, is what happened after. She told my brother to chase me out of the house. I heard those words, and something in me, some part of me that had been holding on, that had been waiting, that had been hoping through 4 years of 1 meal a day, and no money, and no job, and no freedom, could not process them, because I was not afraid of her saying those words. I was afraid of what he would do, my brother, my blood, the man who knew every secret I had ever kept, the man who called me to America, the man whose voice I had trusted since I was old enough to understand what trust meant. He chose her. He told me to leave. My blood brother looked at me and told me to leave. After 5 years, after everything I had given, after everything I had endured, after every secret I had trusted him with, after every promise he had made, after every hope I had built on the foundation of his word. He chose her, and he threw me out, just like that. No explanation, no apology, no acknowledgement of what I had done, of what I had endured, of what he had promised. Just leave. And I left, into the streets of America, a country that was not mine, with no money, no job, no plan, no one, My brother, the person I trusted most in this world, had thrown me away. Like I was nothing. Like the years meant nothing. Like the blood meant nothing. Like I meant nothing. And I walked, because there was nothing else to do. I walked, and I asked God. I asked the sky. I asked whatever would listen. Why? I am not going to pretend that what followed was anything other than what it was. It was the darkest period of my life. Depression, not sadness, not feeling down. Depression, the kind that makes the morning feel like an accusation. The kind that makes getting out of bed feel like climbing a mountain with no summit. The kind that makes you question not just what happened, but who you are, whether you are worth anything, whether any of it, any of your love, your trust, your sacrifice, meant anything at all. I asked myself questions that had no answers. Why was I betrayed? I loved him. I served him. I trusted him completely. What did I do wrong? Why do I feel like I was the one who did something wrong when he was the one who lied? Why can I not forget them? Why do they live in my mind every single day when they have clearly moved on without a second thought? Why does the betrayal still feel like my fault, even though every part of me knows it wasn't? These questions, I carried them for years, through the depression, through the streets, through the slow, painful process of rebuilding a life from nothing. And nobody I spoke to could give me answers that went deep enough. They told me to move on. They told me to forgive. They told me he was wrong, and I deserved better. And all of that was true. But none of it answered the real questions. The why. The deep why. The why that lives beneath the surface of the obvious answer. Until I found Carl Jung. I want to tell you what Jung gave me. Not in academic language. In the language of what it actually felt like. To finally understand what had happened to me. The first thing Jung gave me was an explanation for my brother. Not an excuse. An explanation. My brother was not simply evil. He was not simply cruel. He was a man who had built a life, a new country, a new identity, a new marriage, on top of a shadow he had never examined. The man who arrived in America and found success in a wife began to wear a new persona. The successful man, the provider, the one who made it, and everything that contradicted that persona, including his obligations to me, including the promises he had made, including the brother who represented the life he had left behind, went into his shadow. I was not thrown out because I was worthless. I was thrown out because I was inconvenient to the persona he was maintaining. That distinction between being worthless and being inconvenient to someone else's mask changed everything. The second thing Jung gave me was an explanation for why I blamed myself. He called it the wounded child, the part of me that had learned, somewhere deep in the unconscious, that if someone leaves, it must be because of something I did, because of something I am, because I was not enough. My brother's betrayal did not create that belief. It activated it. It reached into the wound that was already there, the wound that every human being carries in some form, and tore it open. And the self-blame, the crushing, illogical, deeply unfair self-blame, was not a character flaw. It was a wounded child, doing what wounded children do, trying to make sense of an experience that defied sense by turning the blame inward, where it at least feels like something you can control. The third thing Jung gave me was the concept of individuation. The idea that the journey does not end with the betrayal. That the betrayal, as devastating as it was not the final chapter. It was the crack. The crack that let the light in. The crack that forced me to stop living on the surface and go deeper, into the shadow, into the questions, into the real work of becoming who I actually was, rather than who I had been performing. My brother's betrayal destroyed a version of Richard that was built on other people's promises, and in the ruins, slowly, painfully, through depression and streets and questions that had no easy answers, a different Richard emerged, one who does not need someone else's promises to know his own worth, one who understands why the betrayal happened without needing to carry the weight of it, one who can sit here today and tell you this story, not with bitterness, not with rage, not with the need for my brother to suffer for what he did, with understanding and with the genuine hope that what I went through and what I learned from it becomes the thing that helps you understand your own story. Why this channel exists. I did not build Shadow and Self because I studied psychology. I built it because I lived it. Because I walked the streets of America with nothing. No money, no job, no brother, no plan. And I asked questions that nobody around me could answer. And I found Carl Jung, and the shadow, and the unconscious, and the persona, and the wounded child, and individuation. And one by one, the questions that had been eating me alive began to have answers. Real answers. Deep answers. Answers that did not ask me to pretend I was fine, or to forgive before I was ready, or to move on before I understood what I was moving on from. Answers that went into the darkness with me and showed me what was there. This channel is built on those answers. Every video we make here about betrayal, about the revenge impulse, about why you can't stop thinking about them, about the masks people wear, about the wounded child, about the shadow. Every single one was born in that depression, in those streets, in those questions I could not stop asking. I am not a psychologist. I am not a therapist. I am not an academic. I am someone who was betrayed by the person he trusted most, who went through the darkness, who found the map, and who came back to show it to you. Because if there is one thing I know from everything I have been through, it is this: you do not have to figure this out alone. The questions you are asking, I asked them. The pain you are carrying, I carried it. The darkness you are in, I was there. And there is a way through, not around, not over. Through. And this channel, video by video, week by week, is going to walk it with you. To you watching this right now. Before I close, I want to speak directly to you. Not to the general audience. To you, the specific person watching this right now. Maybe you were betrayed by a partner, maybe by a friend, maybe by a family member, maybe, like me, by the person you trusted most in the world. Maybe you are in the depression I was in. Maybe you are asking the same questions I asked. Maybe you feel like the ground disappeared and you cannot find it again. I want to tell you something. You are not broken. What happened to you does not define your worth. The betrayal was not a verdict on who you are. It was a revelation of who they were, of what they were carrying, of the shadow they had never faced. And it was an invitation, the most painful kind of invitation, to go deeper into yourself than comfort would have ever allowed. I know that is hard to hear when you are in the middle of it. I know that this is an invitation. Sounds impossible when you are eating once a day in someone else's house, or walking streets that don't know your name, or lying awake at 3 a.m. wondering what you did wrong. You did not do anything wrong. You loved genuinely. You trusted completely. You gave everything you had, and someone who was not whole enough to receive that broke it. That is their wound, their shadow, their responsibility, not yours. Your responsibility, the one that this channel exists to support, is what you do now. With the questions, with the pain, with the anger, with the grief, with the burning desire to understand why this happened. Those feelings, every single one of them, are not your enemy. They are the beginning of the map. And this channel, Shadow and Self, is here to help you read it. Subscribe. Stay. If you have a story, share it in the comments. You are not alone in this. Not anymore. We are building something here. Together. Not just a channel. A family. Of people who were broken. By someone they trusted. And chose to understand it. Rather than be defined by it. That choice. The choice you made by clicking this video. Is already the beginning. Healing is not going back. It's going forward. Into someone more real. Welcome to Shadow and Self. I'll see you in the next video.